Good morning. How is everybody today?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I hope everyone took some time off over this past holiday weekend to recharge. And look, we are officially in September. I love September because these last 4 months I find are the best 4 months for people. People seem to be re-engaged, re-energized, refocused. And look, I will say that your journey of 2026 starts today. And why do I say that? What you do over the next 4 months will dictate, I believe, 80% of what your year will be like next year. Now, things that you want to keep in mind. What happens once we get into October? Well, once we get into October, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Hanukkah, all of these things happen and people organically start checking out. So if you look at people who have really successful businesses versus those that are aspiring to get to a different place, here are two parallel paths. There are people that check out during summer and they don't do absolutely nothing. So now they're working twice as hard to fill their pipeline to get back into a routine when kids get back to school and everything else starts in September. They start to ramp up, then October and the holidays come, and then they check out again. And then in January, if you've ever looked at the end of January in a real estate office, it's really depressing because people realize all that New Year's nonsense wears off and the reality of what they did for the last 4 months kicks in. So I want all of you to really be present over the next 4 months. And the most important thing you can do now is before it gets too close, is figure out when you're going to work and when you're not going to work through the holidays, right? Your work expands or contracts to the time allotted, and you want to allot the time now. So you work when you have to work, and when you're off, you're off. There's no more of these blurred lines. So if you're off, just be off. But you've at least planned it purposefully, thoughtfully, and you've accounted for the things that you have to account for. Does that sound good? All right, cool. So today, instead of giving you a presentation on how to bring a property to market, guess what we're going to do our whole session on or through? Anyone have a guess? It was a very easy guess.
We're
Laura,
gonna
what's
do ourselves.
Role play.
Chat GBT? So, in learning some things from the past, here is a link that you guys can all click. So everyone click the link and make a copy of the document so you guys can follow along. You don't have to wait for the resource as well after. And I will walk everyone through this, but ideally you should pull up one of your own property links, a listing of yours, the team members are in your office, and actually go through while we're doing this and do it together. Now, ideally, in a perfect world, you do this inside of your project that you have for your client, your listing, and everything else. But for the sake of today, we'll just do it inside of your main chat account. So I'm going to pull this up. Oops. Okay. See, it's instructing me to make a copy. So you guys can all make a copy. I'm going to make a copy here. And here we go. All right, so the first one is you want it to understand your property, right? So I'm going to take this prompt here. And look, this is what's called multi-prompting, right? If I gave all of this in one area, and we're going to modify some of this because this is specific to this one actual listing, but we'll show you how to modify this for yourself, right? So I'm going to stick the prompt in here. I need you to learn everything there is about this property, the location, the community that it's close to, so that when we create a comprehensive, so that we can create a comprehensive launch campaign, remove the information thoroughly and take your time. Do not write back till you're 100% confident that you know the requested information. It's important to put that information in because if not, it can rush through the task, right? So now let me just pull up the property link that we have here. This is an old listing that I randomly pulled. So now we're going to ask it to learn about the property. You see, it says thinking longer for a better answer because I asked it to think, review the information thoroughly, and don't write back till it's 110% confident. All right, so this is a place right now where all of you should copy and paste the prompt in, as well as put in one of your own listings. You see how it's looking for all of these details?
Chirag, should we use an active listing or one that we have not yet launched?
As long as it has a link to the listing on compass.com, it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Even if it's a private exclusive, you can do it in that phase as well.
Chirag, this text that you enter, I need you to learn everything. It's besides the prompt that you gave us, right?
Yeah, so you put the prompt in, and then you could hit Shift, Enter, Enter, which will allow it to skip lines, then copy and paste your listing link in.
Okay, thank you.
So Shift, Enter, Enter allows you to skip lines within a prompt. Do you notice how much more time that this is taking right now? As opposed to it just skipping through the answer? Look, the one thing I want to share with all of you while this is going is the world that we live in through AI is changing faster than it ever has before. If you see this new Google just came out with this new thing called Nano Banano. Does anyone hear about that yet? All right. Well, go into Google and type in Nano Banano. It's in Gemini, but it literally eliminates the job of like so many different photographers, right? Like you can virtually stage properties, edit pictures, all kinds of crazy things. And when I say the world's changing really quickly, there's more and more resources and tools. And I was sharing this with my team this morning. It's so important to keep pushing the envelope here because there's only going to be people that know how to use this and everyone else that loses because they don't, right? An employee can be replaced if they don't know how to use this. If they know how to use this to enhance their job, their work, their output, it will never replace a human in many different things. So look, it talks about the lifestyle, the location, the schools. It says verify annually, flood, shoreline, property details. So this is a lot of compliance. It even pulled up the zoning. It even went through open items to confirm. So while this finishes it, I'm going to go to my next one. So now I'm going to tell it, now I need you to act as if you're an expert property marketing specialist with 30 years of experience specializing in creating marketing that drives emotional connection, that creates buyer interest and makes your property stand out through storytelling. Now, the part I want to point out to you, act as if. Now, if you tell ChatGPT to act as if you're a dog walker, an attorney, and a circus clown all in one prompt, it will take into consideration the attributes of all three of those different things. Now, if you just put a property marketing specialist with 30 years of experience, that's one thing. But now I'm saying it's a person that has all this experience that specializes in creating marketing that drives emotional connections, that creates buyer interest and makes a property stand out through storytelling. You always want to use act as an expert with 30 years of experience in whatever it is you want it to be. And this is a 30 years of experience as a marketing specialist. Now, specializing in, and that is where you want to fill the ideal outcome, right? This is what we wanted to do. Someone that specializes in creates buyer interest and markets a property stand out through storytelling. So now I'm going to go to the next one. Does anyone have any questions so far? How many people are following along and actually typing this in?
I have a question. I missed the beginning because I was copying, pasting, and getting set up. Where did you put in the address of the lead, the listing? Like after the first
In the
prompt?
first prompt, yeah, you put the prompt in, you hit shift, enter, enter. You see how I have these spaces here, and then you put the link in.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so now it's going to say positioning one line, Harborfront Sanctuary at the end of a private cul-de-sac where sunrise coffee meets sunset sales, steps from the yacht club and minutes to town. That seems pretty good, right? Ideal buyer emotional hooks, right? New York weekender, full timer. So it's starting to do that. Narrative pillars, end of peninsula, harbor lifestyle on the foot, classic New England shingle and indoor outdoor flow, everyday convenience, moments that matter. So let's look at the description, right? On the edge, look, it's putting this and this in here because this has all been in my ChatGPT before, right? On the edge of Saugatuck Shores, where the peninsula meets a harbor, 14 Great Marsh Road delivers what most waterfront addresses can. Quiet connection and ease. The shingled colonial sits at the cul-de-sac with long level lawn unfolding to Saugatuck Harbor, a front row seat to golden hour and gentle tides. Mornings begin with the wraparound porch with coffee and herons gliding by. Weekends drift from Rotunda breakfast nook to the pavilion lawn, then out for an afternoon sail. Inside, classic rooms open to water views, formal spaces for holidays, a great room for everyday living, a private office when life calls. I love that one, a private office when life calls. Doesn't that sound better than like having a office located conveniently on first floor, right? A walkout lower level keeps the fun flowing back to the yard. 3-car garage, minutes to Campo Beach and Longshore Club Park. Metro North dining in downtown are closely yet comfortably away. Here, the conversation writes itself. Shall we go to the yacht club or stay on the porch? At 14 Great Marsh, both answers are right. Now, you tell me, can any human come up with something like this? I don't even think a copywriter can. MLS friendly. End of a cul-de-sac, harborfront in Saugatuck Shores, classic shingle colonial with wraparound porch, level lawn to water pavilion and water views rooms throughout. Great room plus rotunda breakfast nook, formal living room, dining room, minutes to Campo Beach. All right, the MLS friendly version sucks. So how many characters is your MLS? Somebody want to drop it in the chat? Ooh, Shelly, we're excited to see what your new listing actually entails. Headlines, social captions, film, photography shot list, right? Website property page structure, 2-page brochure, paid media, email templates, open house experience, objection handling, 14-day launch plan, deliverable checklist, blind spots. Susan, question.
So the prompt you put in this was your second prompt, the emotional storytelling marketing. How come I mean, you got so much different stuff than I did. I don't have any of the same headings, not nearly as extensive as yours. So is that just because?
I think I have part of it. So ready? Now, watch this. I need you to rewrite this prompt so this exact output comes out for anyone who uses the same prompt. All right, we're all going to try this together.
Also, while we're waiting for this, I have a question. So Connecticut is more upscale. I wonder if it's picking up the information on the actual address, because that
is.
statement of, oh, shall we go to the golf course or the yacht club, or that's like ultra high net worth vocabulary and lifestyle. So do you think it's picking that up from the address? The verbiage?
Yep.
I mean, it's not going to say that on the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
No, but it should say different things for the Lower East Side of Manhattan, right? So look, now
right.
we have to actually, let's see, hold on. Someone else had a comment here. They put the listing in for an upcoming listing. It gave me a ton of info. Right. Look, part of this is like, what is your chat GBT trained on, right?
Probably train ours to be more like yours because I'm still getting, I mean, not as descriptive as yours because I'm a boring writer.
I have decided just watch what you're doing, Chirag, because it's getting really overwhelming. Pay attention and do it on my own. So I'm just gonna watch it.
So now look, it is all this specific information. Why? So now I'm going to ask it, why are you providing so many specifics under the heading sections when the prompt should be engineered to create the output based on the information provided via welcome to reverse engineering here. So we'll have to see why this is happening, right? And we'll reformulate the prompt and we'll give it back to you into something that creates the same exact output. Look, I think the one thing that you could see in the discrepancy here, if some has more information, some has other information, right? We talked about this in the AI accelerator, looking at your memory, right? Building your digital twin, understanding, like, I would go through, and when I was done with this, what I would write is, I want you to remember, right? Once you say remember or commit to memory, it will commit it to its memory, right? Remember that every time I put in this prompt for a property, I need this exact output. So look, now when you look at this, right? So this is property prompt 1. This is the second one that we're going to have to do. So this is balancing.
Where are you saving the prompts on the Chat GPT?
There's nowhere in the actual Chat GPT to save prompts. You can create a
saved
project.
mine. Yeah, I saved mine in notes because if I saved it in
We're gonna have it. See, the challenge is like we can make like an ongoing Google Doc, right? But the challenge is people can't collaboratively work in a Google Doc because somebody deletes it or changes it or personalizes it, right? So we can update a copy doc once a month with all the new prompts and just send it to all of you as these keep evolving. All right, let's go back to here to see what we got. So now
what I was saying was when I save it to pages, it doesn't come out clear. I have to save it to my notes. Copy and paste.
I would just do everything in Google Docs.
Okay.
All right, so look, now it's condensed these into one big long prompt, right? So it's saying that it could change it a little bit more. Now I'm asking to highlight what to adjust first. All right, so once this is done, I want somebody to try this I'm going to retry this whole thing with an address. And we'll re-update the copy doc and attach the updated one to the recording today.
So what exactly is going on right now?
This is just, it's reorganizing this.
Like a new prompt, like new prompts?
Yes,
Behind the
I'm
scenes?
modifying my original prompt so that it gives Susan and the rest of you the same output that I got when I did this.
Now, since that's your prompt, I wonder, since this is your ChatGPT, I wonder now that you did that, you might confuse it according to what you've already set up.
Maybe, maybe not, right? I don't know. I'll find out when we rerun this, right? But like, look, I can go back and I could follow the same format and I could just go back to where I was because I liked what I had and I could put this in and say, I want to continue from here. But look, again, this is like learn and do, right?
So I was focusing on my MLS. So Susan, were you just doing exactly the same property as Chirag? I'm trying to understand what was different.
I did a property of mine, but I used his exact prompts and just pasted them in. And what it gave me was much more compacted than what Chirag got, and entirely, well,
Interesting.
they could have been similar type sections, but it was definitely not as inclusive as what he had.
Because mine was definitely not compacted. It took a long time to think, and then
It took a long time to think. I mean, it took probably just as long. It was just that what
Right.
it then started to spit out was not as
Mhm.
comprehensive.
If she's saying this, there's 20 other people that have the same thing. They're just aren't saying anything, right? So
Yeah.
I have-
Susan, where are you located?
I'm in Phoenix,
So
Arizona.
what kind of property did you put in compared to what Chirag put in?
Well, I didn't even pay attention to what Chirag put in
I just put
as
in
far
Well,
as his address. I mean, I put in
Connecticut is upscale, estates, lots of land, beautiful homes. Is that yours or is it some other type
they
of
have
real?
beautiful homes where they are. I can tell you
yeah,
that.
it's in
You get the
Paradise
house-
Valley. It's a good
Okay.
area. It's like it's like 1.4 acres, almost 7,000 square feet. So it's a good sized property.
All right, so now we're going to pick up based on where we were before.
Chirag, which chat are we using? Because I think I'm using the wrong one. I have Chat GPT 5 and
That's
I put in the prompt and it's still thinking. Like, how long is it going to think? There's something wrong, right?
No, there's nothing wrong, but you should see what it's thinking about. Like it actually says it there, right? Sometimes you have to refresh the screen.
Yeah, it was actually pretty amazing to look at what and how it is thinking and what it takes into consideration comparing to what I take into consideration. That was pretty impressive.
All right, so now I would like to continue based on my past thread here.
So I wonder between all the prompts and the nano banana photographs, I mean, you could actually make like a fake listing. You could
Probably.
create like a fake listing with a fake address and an empty piece of lot land.
You can pretty much do anything at this point. All right, so now I'm going to go back to where we were. So now this one is not valid, right? Now let's go to this next one. So now I'm just putting all this stuff back in. So the next prompt I'm going to put in, who is this home for? For the discerning buyer, this property offers a rare blend of exclusivity and comfort. Whether you're seeking, I need you to adjust this statement so it focuses on the type of buyer who would enjoy the types of experiences home would provide. The marketing copy should spark emotional connection and create a sense that it will fulfill my goals and lifestyle. All right. Thinking longer for a better answer. All right, who is this for? For the buyer who wants life to happen on the water, coffee on the porch at sunrise, a quick walk to the yacht club, golden hour dinners on the lawn in downtown minutes away when you want it. If your goals are ease, privacy, and waterfront. So it's going through a few different tones, right? So now we're going to tell it to update all the statements together.
Rog, so for instance, on this one, when it said for who is this home for, it gave you what, 4, 5, 6 options? It gave me
Yep.
one.
Well, that I can't tell you because it's not my chat GPT. I would say I need options. Like you need, just like you're telling me, right?
Mhm.
You have to say the same thing back to
Just
it.
continue. Okay.
Yep. So descriptions, it's unifying headlines, it's going into social captions. You can see now based on these statements, it's combining it, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna share this full thread with you. So this way you can copy and paste this entire thread in and say, this is the kind of output I need when I'm using these prompts. So that's another way to do it. So look, it's given us, I think this is one of the most valuable things here. Like sometimes you might want to get a second time a photographer to go by after you've created all of this for a photography shot list, because these will be lifestyle shots, so it'll drive your social posts and everything. So open house experience, objection handling. Look, again, this is a learn and do process. You're never going to get this on one time. Yes, I know we're all spoiled where a lot of my prompts, you can just literally put them in. It'll give you exactly what you want. But today is the day I wanted to teach you how to fish, not give you the fish. And write this down. After creating any copy or doing anything in here, you want to ask it, what are the blind spots that I am not thinking of? It'll actually start telling you like what you shouldn't do. So now the next thing is, now I need you to create an email that will go out to my database that the property is a Compass coming soon. I need you to include the subject line and the story that is told in the email that makes the right buyer want to engage, and anyone else who's reading it feel connected and also realize I market homes differently without saying so.
Question. We spoke about blind spots last week. What have you recognized when it gives you blind spots? Like, what would that be? Like, what was it something that you didn't think about? Is there a consistency there in what the feedback
No,
is?
it's not, because you got to realize this. It's pulling, AI pulls off of so many different data points, right? So you don't know. So like, think about this. This is the easiest way to look at it. If I did a Med C and then I went through our prompts of like, filtering down your listing presentation, right? Like, what should I include based on my presentation? What are the blind spots based on the conversation? It's going to use high end and a high level of emotional intelligence to read between the lines and saying somebody that said this is not going to like this. Or a blind spot is you have so much stuff about Compass Concierge, this person's overwhelmed and is not going to want to update their house because what they said to you is, I'm really challenged in moving because I have 3 dogs, 3 pets, my kids are under 10, and between my husband and I, like, we have such a hard time just getting through our days. You don't want 4 pages on Compass Concierge and renovating a home for more money, because that's a blind spot that somebody wouldn't think about, right? So let's look at this. Subject lines coming soon. Your lawn meets the harbor. First look, Peninsula Privacy, Harbor's Life. Westport, Harborfront, private cul-de-sac, yacht club steps away. The waterfront you'll actually use. Quiet end of Saugatuck Shores. So those are some subject lines, right? Some homes show water. This one lives it. At the quiet end of a private cul-de-sac in Saugatuck Shores, 14 Grace Marsh Road opens with a wraparound porch and a level lawn that meets the harbor. Mornings start with coffee and herons drifting by. Afternoons can be a quick walk to the yacht club or a paddle from your own shoreline. Evenings settle into a golden hour dinners on the pavilion lawn. It's a rare address where ease, privacy, and everyday waterfront all show up. Here's the picture. Here's the picture told the way you'll use it. Weekend or full-time, boating life on foot. This is pretty good. Why the first look matters. As a coming soon, private tours are limited and prioritized. If this fits the life you've been working towards, claim early access now. If you're not buying, you may still enjoy a quick watch. The story of this home is why so many of us choose to live by the water. If I got this email, I'd be like, all right, cool. I wouldn't feel like I was being sold. It just kind of reminds me of like a tranquil story, right? Then it gives A/B options and everything else. If you don't have an A/B option, give me 2 different emails to test. A/B testing essentially is, I'm sending email A to a group of people. I'm sending email B to a group of people. I'm testing open rates, click-throughs, and responses. And then I'm sending it to a large group of people. So I could send one email. There's 53 of you here. I could send one email to 15. I could send one email to 5 people, email 2 to another 5 people, figure out which one works the best, then send it to everybody. That's essentially A/B testing. So I don't have to go to concise email drafting. Now, if I wanted something more concise, I would go here. And I would put this here. I need you to act as if you're an expert property marketing specialist with 30 years of experience specializing in creating marketing that drives emotional connection, that creates buyer interest, makes a property stand out through storytelling. The email has to be direct and to the point and not so long. Because that is a long email, correct? Some homes frame the water as a backdrop. This one makes it your everyday. At the end of a private cul-de-sac, 14 Gracemont Road offers a wraparound porch for sunrise coffee, a level lawn that unfolds to the harbor, and golden hour evenings that seem made for long tables and good friends. The yacht club is steps away, Campo Beach, Longshore, downtown Westport, so minutes in the other direction. It's a rare blend of privacy, convenience, and waterfront lifestyle you'll actually use. As a company's coming soon, early tours are limited. If it feels like this is a life you've been working towards, by the way, this in itself for a high-end listing really hits home. If this feels like the life you've been working towards, people that buy these kinds of high-end luxury homes are working towards something. So this immediately self-identifies with somebody in a different way. Claim first access below. There it is. So now say I want to mirror an Apple product launch, right? You could mirror Apple, Disney, or anything. Now here's how Apple would sell them. Ever so often a home arrives that changes the way you think about living on the water. This one sits on a quiet cul-de-sac where mornings begin with coffee on a wraparound porch and evenings end with golden light across the harbor. Step outside and the yacht club is there. Beaches, longshore, and downtown minutes away. It just isn't a house, it's an experience waiting to be lived. The waterfront you'll actually use, a rhythm you can step into from day one. Mystery rarity, so like this is Apple. Now I need you to create an email that goes agents to agents that could have a buyer for them, right? Do you see how now we're just naturally, like once we got the flow down, prompting it to give us what we want? But you need all of that different data and space and trying different things. I'm not crazy about the subject line, so I ask more. I want you to first look at a rare harborfront opportunity in Saugatuck Shores. And it goes back to the same thing. Think of a buyer who wants an end of peninsula. So this is actually prompting an agent to think about the right type of buyer. Do you guys like this or not like this? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Here's the thing. In sales, you want people to self-identify with things, right? So when I hear a buyer who loves boating and being able to walk to the club, I'm like, oh my God, Susan loves that, right? Like I should send this to her. She belongs to a yacht club, right? And I might even just say like, Susan's not in the market, but like Susan has a lot of friends at her yacht club. Write this so it emotionally connects with her and gets her excited. And in a way she may want to share with a friend, right? Because she belongs to that yacht club. Now, this is not salesy. So now I'm going to say, create a full marketing plan. If you wanted to go this deep, Debbie, that was your question? All right, unmute yourself. We can chat. So if I were doing this, right, I would stick the prompt in and I would say, now, this is what I'm looking for, right? You can, now we have two Debbies.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got two going.
No worries. So look, you can literally pull all of the information about the home just from the address, right? And then just like me, you're having a conversation. You're going to say, now ask me questions one by one about the lifestyle, the home, the features, the benefit, so you can learn everything about the listing and then go about this, right? So again, today, a lot about launching a listing on market was teaching you guys how to think through this, because everyone's ChatGPT is different. Everyone's output's different, and you need to understand the mindset and framework. So while we try to build as many of these prompts as can plug and play as possible, as Susan pointed out, and many of you shared, there's so many different ways of doing this, right? The one thing I can promise you is you will all have better marketing copy than anybody else, because no one's going to have all this stuff. And if you see, even with us together, how much work this takes to get it, the nice part about this is you do it once and you've mastered it. You can use it over and over and over again, right? So you can even go in here now. Where's this? You see this property launch research, right? I could rename this as property launch formula. Now, whenever I want to go back to it, I would just find my chat that said property launch formula. I would put the new address in, and eventually it'll create the same output, right? So you can put in a prompt, Serena, that says, I need you to create the same output you did previously, now just using this listing and its unique information. And you're done. Look at this, coming soon. It has posts. It has the clip. It has LinkedIn. It has agent-to-agent marketing. It has the public launch. It has open house announcements. It has engagement and conversation, channel codes, executive notes, and then you could ask it to write all the emails. All right. So for the rest of the time we have today, I think you guys might get some extra time back in your day, is who has questions? And remember, I can't answer why your ChatGPT does something as much as I would love to know. But the answer is you need to teach it more about you, your listing, right? So you could go in there and, Susan, type in, I need you to commit to memory all of these different facts that I'm going to tell you about my listing, the MLS, my marketing plan, what needs to be created, right? And then you can use things that says, please refer to memory in all past chats for any outputs you put during this thread, and it'll go back and pull all those things together.
So on my listing, I'm going to have to cue it all the details about the property because it's not going to find it in comps. It's way over any comps in the area. It's just like a super white elephant property.
How much is the property?
It's going to be like 9 million.
How much?
9.
You have an address?
Yeah. 27. Here we go. Where are you? Bayside 2741 Bayside Walk. But he's been in it, the property, for like, 20 some odd years. So it's not going to pull accurate what this
Bayside
property
Walk. Where is this located?
Bayside Walk, San Diego, California, 92109. So it's right on the bay, right on the water.
Debbie, I don't know if you saw my response to you in the chat, but I put in prompts an existing ChatGPT folder I have for a seller, and I already have the MedC, the home tour questions, a pre-inspection report. So in addition to my PE listing that I have for it, it pulled in all that information. It had a lot of.
Okay.
So if you have that, it'll also pull from.
Yeah. I definitely recorded him with the walkthrough through the house. So I'll pull all that information because it has all the, crazy details about
By the way,
this.
can we all just acknowledge how great what Daniela is doing really is? One thing I love about her is like many of you, she will literally verbatim use every single thing that we talk about. Like she's like, I built the project. How much easier does this make it to work with people?
It's so easy and organized.
But isn't it kind of crazy that as you work in this way, all of the resistance, pushback, and stuff you normally get with people just disappears?
Yeah. Yeah, and it helps streamline the whole process so much more. It's given me a lot of confidence in everything that I'm doing. So I just do everything you say and don't think twice.
Of course. So look, for Debbie's example, look, I need you to learn everything you can about this property that I'm going to put on the market.
Although one funny thing it did for mine was the pre-inspection report had very minor things in it, but it told me you should be realistic with buyers and say like, you know, you can do anything you want or like update this property, which is not necessarily true, but yeah, I would just have to tell it like don't use the information from the report.
Well, the other thing is when you upload the report, right, and you're referring to it, right, that should be part of like your home equity protection plan. Like you literally want to disclose all of this stuff up front, right? Because here's the part. When somebody wants to buy something, right, they generally want it more in the way that your brain reasons things, right? They think about what they want more than the stupid little things that it doesn't have, right? Especially in a competitive situation. But then when they get it and then they find all this stuff out, they're like, whoa, 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 I didn't know about that. Like, I'm paying more. I should, like, the reason you're paying more is the exact reason that this stuff, stupid stuff shouldn't matter, right? But you have no idea how many buyers you can pick up by doing work like this and being that much more organized. Like every single home that you list that has a piece of marketing, social asset, email is a marketing asset that you're using for other people. Do you know how many, like I worked in I had a new construction development that I sold when I was an agent. Do you know how many listings I picked up over a multi-year period because people were working with agents to buy homes and they did not know how good the agent was and they took a chance and they're like, you're just so much more organized in all of the details. Can you sell our house? Like even some of the people were pissed off, but that's not my problem. Right? So make every house your showpiece. And the idea that's like, but Shrug, this takes so much extra time. And that's exactly why people don't do it. And that's why it'll work so much better for you. It's better to spend this much time than chasing random business because you didn't do things right the right way. Right. And you have to remember everything you do today is your track record and story you're going to use in the future. So when people are like, well, I don't want to do coming soon. It's so much work for 24 hours. I don't want to do three-phase marketing, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, great. So in 6 months from now, when Debbie has 10 of these that she's done and sold, or a year from now, and you've never done it, I don't care how much track record you have in a neighborhood. Most people are logical. And then when you're saying like, well, Debbie sold all these homes in the neighborhood and you haven't, Shrug, like, why should I go with you? I'm going to say, whatever you decide to do, I support you 100%. Let me ask you a question. If you look at Debbie's marketing plan versus the other agent with the track record, how do you think, well, I would start over. How do you think buyers are finding your home? Do you think they have a search field for agent who sold the most homes? No. Well, what are they looking at? And then they're going to go through and the seller's going to start telling you all the different things, right? Then I'm going to level shift the conversation and say, okay, great. Based on this is what buyers are looking for, what strategic marketing plan do you think will get you the best results and maximize your equity? The one that has all these different things we're saying, or the person that you shared that has sold more homes than I did candidly, but has a less comprehensive plan? It's like having footprints on this in the sand. If you have more footprints, you're more likely to find the person. Less footprints, you're less likely to find the person, right? Listen, we're helping you build businesses of today and in the future. So if you're like Daniela and you're just sitting here just going all in as an example, this only gets better for you. I'm telling you this whole market share thing and I have a lot of like very, very successful clients that don't like this when I say it to them. This whole market share thing is going to go out the window faster than you think. It'll get you in the door, but it's not going to close the sale. Because if you're using ChatGPT and the MedC and all these different things, you are psychologically tailoring the words you say, the presentation, the materials, the perceived value, the actualized value, the gap to exactly what somebody's thinking in their brain in ways that most people can't imagine. So you will win. because there's a feeling that the people have of psychological safety. Okay, this is safe for me. This is what I want, right? So look, Debbie, it gave us all of these different things about it. What they want to verify, positioning angles, immediate next steps, right? Now, you could go in here and you could tell the person, can I take a bunch of pictures on my cell phone so I could start drafting a marketing plan for you? And I'd be happy to share that with you. So if a person's like, I don't know if I want to go with you, right? Like somebody, raise your hand if you've ever competed with somebody that has more experience than you do. Bingo. Okay. So you're going to say, hey, I completely understand that Katrina has more experience. Can I have the opportunity to ask you some questions, walk through your home, take some pictures, and let me give you a sample of exactly what the marketing copy will be and how we're able to target buyers more effectively. And then at the end, you can decide. And then I would just run through all this and I would create one really nice branded document and I would go present it to him in person. And I would start with the framing of, how do you think buyers find online? What do you think are the highest points of your home, right? Like I would literally just go do the med C and ask him if you could do the storytelling portion of the home and then go back and create the marketing like the same way Daniela did and then use these prompts. Anybody can win today. Anybody. Like the playing field is level. Any
So I
other
have a
questions, thoughts,
I have a
concerns?
question about the prompts. Let's just say from the very beginning, the first prompt that you gave us was to create our digital twin. And then just correct me if I'm wrong. This is how I see it. So that was just a starting footing. So then it begins to learn about us, how we're evolving, what our image is, who are we, what kind of real estate we have. Down to this prompt today is more specific. Is that how this is unfolding? Because you've given us
It's just a basics, right? So think about it as programming your chat GBT, right? And then so this will help influence all of its decisions. So think about it like this. The more your chat GBT knows about you, the better the output will be. The less it knows about you, the more vague it is because you got to remember that it's based on the limited or definitive context you give it, the better the output will be. Right? Does that make sense to you? Listen, I'm going to just re-echo my thoughts for all of you. Just keep using it, keep adding more information, tell it what you like, tell it what you don't like. And like, if it does something bad, remember, I never want this output. Remember, this is a great output. Remember, remember, remember. And the more it'll know about you. Research and filter your memories. See what it remembers, see what it doesn't. And so we will rerun back at some point, I think like in early November, like a 3-session version of the AI accelerator again. It seems that you all really like that and everyone could use some more training. So we'll keep going. Like I think you guys know this by now. I have no problem doing more stuff for you if you guys actually want to be the people that use this stuff. Like there's never a lack or willingness for us to want to do things. Like we want you to use this stuff. That's the only thing we really care about. Right? Like use the stuff, be happy. And you know, I'm hoping more of you share your results, right? So who here has had something good happen for them over the last 8 weeks through what they've learned in coaching? Hit yes or raise your hand. So all of you hit yes in the chat that have had something happen. We're going to send you something that you can fill out so that we can showcase you as a top agent and that you've been successful to thousands and thousands of other people, because we have about 40% of every agent at Compass organically on our email list. But you have to fill out the form, right? Because then we have your picture, we can use it. And eventually we want to create a page that says, you know, 100 ways that agents are winning through coaching, or 100 reasons that agents are growing their business, something like that. So just put yes, and Christine will individually mail you a form. and just fill it out. So I see you don't fully read our newsletter. We're continuously working on that. So for all of you that hit yes, Christine will pull all of these names and we'll send it to you. And like, look, like you have to be quantifiable and like, here's what I use, here's my challenge, here's how I won business, and here's like the ultimate financial and life result out of it. And those are all the ones we publish. But here's the thing. Do you know how many referral requests we get for people that are like, I want to work with somebody in the CSC coaching system that has implemented what you've done successfully because that's the experience our client wants. And do you know the first place we go to pull agents we refer to is our list of people who have testimonials because we know they're actually using the stuff. So if a Raleigh referral came in, the first person that would come to my mind would be Daniela, because we know she uses the stuff, and we as a company could say that, all right, we feel comfortable referring her because we know she uses the stuff and will have a great experience. So it's really important to fill out the form. So we have, let's see, Christine, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 different people that we can reach out to. So look, now you guys are on our testimonial list. So once we have those, when the referrals come in, my team is instructed to look at that list first. And again, we'll reiterate this. If you ever need a referral anywhere in the country, we work with agents in pretty much every market, or I know somebody in every market or a sales manager that can help you just randomly finding people online. So just send an email and in the subject line, write referral request and put the area looking for a referral. And generally within 1 to 2 business days, we will connect you with somebody or give you someone's information. Anyone in Delray, Florida, ultra luxury. There's a lot of Floridians here. So just send this to, send it to and indicate whether it's a buyer or seller. So email Debbie Chirag at Chirag Shah Coaching. Florida, I always say, is my home away from home in the tri-state. So I'll be able to find you somebody relatively easily. All right, everybody. Love my heart. I love you all. I hope you guys are all excited and just keep going, right? Marianne got a good referral from Brooklyn. Matt actually was perfect. Matt's a good friend of mine and an older client, and Matt has a ton of experience because he actually used to work in commercial real estate. Just keep in mind, like I've worked with agents at Compass for the last 7+ years. There's so many relationships I have, and I know many of the markets and people personally. So your agents or your clients will be put in touch with good people. All right, everybody, onward and upward. Suzanne, I will see you all. I will see you in 3 weeks in Arizona. So stay tuned. Bye, everybody.